Hey everybody, Brett Rice, coreVISION Financial Group, coming to you today with another video in our series on financial topics. But today, it's an intro video. We have Cindy Holder, who now works at coreVISION, and we wanted to introduce her.
Thank you.
So Cindy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Cindy Holder. I have come from the southern part of the county in the Flat Rock area. I originally went to school at Southwestern, went away to school, came back, and my family has lived there my entire life, more or less. And I have a son who is 24, who, luckily enough, has decided to, when he went away to school and now has come back to the local community. So I'm just really lucky that my family is primarily all in that Flat Rock area, and I'm very involved with my family.
So, I think one of the things is we'd like to see for our children get outside this community and grow, but my daughter says she's probably never coming back to this community, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do?
Well, Kate told me that too, but when he came out of school, he worked as an internship in Indianapolis and has decided to even move even closer, and now is involved with a company out of Taylorsville.
Oh.
Yes,
very close, huh?
9 minutes from home.
So real quick, give us a brief, what have you done work-wise over your career?
I spent 37 years in the investment industry. Recently just changed from coming to coreVISION, coming from one of the major wirehouses. I worked out of Bloomington, Indiana, and decided it was time to maybe work a little closer to home.
Get a shorter drive?
Yeah, I cut that drive down, by about 4/3. So also so I could be closer and more involved with my family and my great nieces and nephews.
Awesome. Well, we're super glad to have you. And I think we're pretty lucky to have you too.
Well, thank you.
There's some tasks around the office that you've taken over that get done a little more profitably than they used to. So we're all super excited about that.
Awesome. I can see that there are a few things that probably took a little more than just a part-time situation.
Yeah, for sure. So you've been with us 3 months now? February, March, April. Yeah, because I think you started at the beginning of February.
Yes.
Yeah, so you've been with us about 3 months now, getting pretty accustomed to everything. You're also, initiating a lot of change here.
There's been a little change.
A little.
But it's all for the good.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things you just talked about that was a little more than a part-time job, that it really took us bringing somebody in to say, okay, here's what this can do. Now we can bring on some new stuff, and start making some stuff that helps with efficiencies and some things.
That hopefully we can maybe face something that's more efficient in the bookkeeping and payroll and the banking. So hopefully we'll be a little more efficient in that area, which should free up time for everyone, not only myself but others, that we can be more efficient.
Yeah, and I think part of that was internally here, since COVID, we've grown so fast that, we didn't have the time to sit down and say, what are we not doing that we should be doing? And so I think it was great to have you come in from the outside. You've got completely different perspective on all this stuff that we have. And your willingness to jump in and dive into these things, I think, has been pretty great.
Well, sometimes it just takes the time to do the research to find out what are your options.
Yeah. And
sometimes, I come from a major wirehouse background, and sometimes you can take some of those bits and pieces of what they do, and maybe make it more efficient on a local, smaller level for coreVISION.
So before we turned the cameras on, we were talking locally. You're involved in FFA, 4-H, farming community.
I grew up on a farm in Flat Rock area. My parents were farmers. My father's a farmer for many, many years. And I grew up, my son was very involved in tenure. I was a 10-year 4-H member. My nieces and nephews were all my siblings were 10-year 4-H members. My nieces and nephews were all 4-H members. My great nieces and nephews are 4-H members. And that's just a very large part of my past and hopefully my future.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. We're not really city people when we live here in Shelbyville, but
4-H is not only for the farmers.
Right,
it's very, they have expanded their projects to include a lot of things that have absolutely nothing to do with farming.
Yeah.
More of the computers, the robotics, those types of things.
Well, I mean, that stuff's getting incorporated into farming.
It is
Fast, but
very quick.
I was watching a drone video where they were spraying. I'm not exactly sure what they were spraying, but they were using this very large drone to do it. I was like, that's pretty cool.
It is very cool. And the things that they, the things they have in the tractors now, I would even attempt to know what to do or how to even any of that works. I get this from my nephews and my great nephews who know how to do all that.
The GPS stuff to keep straight line from the field.
Well, not only that, but just the different spraying based on the conditions in the field, and that's all mapped out. So they're spraying the right amount of chemicals or fertilizer based on the conditions for the ground. And all those things they test and probe and everything else to figure out where those locations are, and what's better for this area may not be better, for a quarter mile down the field.
Increasing that yield.
Increasing those yields with trying to be more efficient with their products and their time and everything.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to do this intro video. Well, again, everybody, Brett Rice, Sydney Holder, coreVISION Financial Group. Thanks for joining us today. Remember to go to our YouTube page and subscribe so you're notified when we post a new video. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you.